Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Light Council series. I am so excited for our guest today. We have Jennifer with us, a psychic medium, and I cannot wait to get into this conversation. We've already been talking offline, and it's already been such a beautiful, powerful conversation. For those of you that are new to me or don't know me, my name is Elizabeth Planson. I am a soul purpose activator, soul gift activator, and spiritual business mentor and
Mhm.
healer. So I am just so excited to bring this to you today to share all this goodness that we've been talking about. Jennifer, welcome and thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, thank you so much, Elizabeth. I love your last name. It's so
Oh,
interesting.
thank
Yeah.
you. I
Yeah.
I always say it
Unique.
because no one knows how to say it based on how it's spelled, and so I'm like I just have to keep saying it. And you know how we always Americanize last names, like if you said it properly, it would be Plançon because it's French. And it's so funny because my maiden name was Italian and it was Champy, but it was spelled Ciampi. So, like, no one knew how to say that either. So, I'm like, whatever. I'm like,
You were
it's
doomed
fine.
either way.
Whatever.
That's really interesting. And I
Yeah,
saw it because I'm Canadian and French is a huge influence in Canada. I was
yeah.
looking at it from that perspective. So I was like, I have no idea how to say her name. And yeah,
I
it's
used to
lovely.
put that little like squiggly under the C,
Yeah.
like I don't know what it's called, but
Soft to make it a soft C.
yeah, yeah, but I just gave up because it didn't matter. Like no one cared. It's fine. So I'll just keep saying it. But anyway, I would love for you to share a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and like what it is that you love to do and how you help people.
Absolutely. I would love to. It's my absolute service and passion in this planet right now to share all that I can and all that I do at this moment in time and more as I grow. So I'm from Canada, born and raised in Canada. I'm in Ontario, actually, close to like 15 minutes from Niagara Falls. Everybody knows
Very
the Niagara
cool.
Falls. So
Yeah.
that's it's a huge one of the seven wonders of the world. So it's a huge marker on the map. Yes. Born and raised there. That's a huge energy center, by the way. A lot of power there, a lot of
Oh
energy.
wow. Yeah,
Like,
I didn't
yeah,
even think
spiritual
about that.
energy. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the falls has a huge vortex. And we've had shamans actually from Peru come and do blessings there. And Buddhist, it draws in all kinds of people all over the world. Wasn't planning on talking about that tonight, but there
Yeah,
you
I
go.
mean, whatever comes
Yeah.
up. And like, is it just on the Canadian side or both American side as
Oh, no,
well?
I would assume it would be both for sure, but I
Yeah.
know I can only speak to the Canadian side because that's the side
Yeah.
that I'm on. It's the
Yeah.
biggest, actually, the Canadian side has the biggest portion of it,
Yes.
of the,
Yes.
yeah, of the actual falls.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's where I'm from. And, I sort of came onto the planet with um, this energy, this ability to see beyond this third dimension right from the get-go. But I don't, I the, my earliest memory, I was around 6 when I was starting to see spirit, and we all have that capacity at that age because we're in that theta brainwave state, which is that open creative mind. And
Mm-hmm.
it's very natural, but my sight never went away. So I
Mm.
continued to have psychic experiences, like impressions, premonitions, even as a child. And
Yeah.
I saw spirit all the way through, but I was really afraid of it. I didn't want anything to do with it. I didn't have happy experiences like some people do. I was seeing a lot of I think the lower
Mm-hmm.
frequency,
Mm-hmm.
the ghost world, and
Yeah.
um, and I just it had a lot of fear that I had to move through, and it was in 1999. And as I mentioned, sometimes our awakening comes with trauma, our dark night of the
Yeah.
soul. And that's what happened in 1999. I had a dark night of the soul that blasted me open, and my psychic energy came online, and it was me coming to terms with the fact that this wasn't going away. And so it was either I'm crazy or there's something more happening here. And synchronistic events helped me to ground the the awareness that I was experiencing on all, like, it was just globally, like I was seeing it with my eyes open and my eyes closed and in my dream state. And there was no
Yeah.
getting away from it. So it's what helped me kind of ground the energy and start to work with my abilities, knowing that, okay, so honestly, though, probably for the first five years, it was, all right, well, this is just something curious to investigate, because at that time I had gone back to school for social work. So I
Mm,
started out in healthcare and nursing, and I didn't finish nursing, but I did work in the healthcare field for a few years. And then I went into social work and I did finish that. But I was going to school for social work at the same time that I was on this spiritual path.
mm-hmm.
And I started doing energy healing work right away. That showed up, landed on my lap, so to speak. And
Yeah.
that's what really helped ground me to start bringing the visions through, because I'm very clairvoyant. That's how I started. And
Mm-hmm.
I would see dead people. I would see all kinds of things while I was channeling energy healing for people. And it was good because it really helped me ground and
Yeah.
start to actually develop the skill. And meditation was really, really big. That
Mm-hmm.
was all the books that I started to read to understand what was going on with me, so that I could just feel human and or somewhat normal, or function, so I could function, literally function,
Right.
because I was a single mom raising two small children at this time. So I needed to function.
Yeah. Yeah.
And meditation was what really, really helped me start to develop my skills. So that led into, I wanted to start a healing practice.
Mm.
Reiki, Usui Reiki
Mm-hmm.
is where I started. And
Mm-hmm.
I wanted, it's interesting because from day one, I didn't even know what it was. And I just knew this was real. I
Yeah.
knew it was real. And I couldn't tell you how. And and I as I started to I think like amazing things were happening with people on the table, like amazing things and testimonials. And I was like, yeah, this is really neat. But there came a point where I was like, I almost felt like I was an imposter in some way, because I knew we could heal ourselves, but I didn't know how I knew that, and I didn't understand the science behind it. And that's when
Mm.
Dr. Joe Dispenza's work came into my energy. And was able to take the other piece and put it together and go, this is how. And
Yeah.
then, and that's when things really started to amp up, because I've been a student of his for 11 years doing the work.
Mm-hmm.
That really, really helped me a lot in my practice, but also in the work that I do, having mystical experiences and learning and understanding on that deeper level, so that I can come back and share with people how to remember who we are, who we truly are, because we
Mm-hmm.
think we're these humans. But
Mm-hmm.
we are actually these incredibly powerful divine beings that have so much power and energy within us, that come here to live in this dream, to experience the sensory world. But this is not
Yeah.
who we are. And when we start to understand that, we get to have a whole different relationship with our experience here, because so many people are here living in suffering. And I
Mm-hmm.
help people liberate the
Yeah.
suffering, to come back to remembering who they are, because we're all psychic, we're all mediums, we're
Yeah.
all alchemists. We all have this incredible capacity to create a reality, to create whatever we want. And I love doing shadow work with people, because the
Mm-hmm.
shadow is the untapped potential. It's 95% of the way that we function.
Yes.
And it's the programming that we have, the programming, the neuroscience, the programming, literally like an operating system in a computer.
Mm-hmm.
And all of our emotional energy is there, and that is contained within the body. All the unconscious self is contained within the body, and that emotional energy is the past, and we get stuck in all this
Yeah.
emotional energy, and that is siphoning our life force. We only have so much
Yeah.
life force to work with in a day, right? So
For
it's
sure.
siphoning our life force energy, and we're not, we're, it's senseless. It's not doing anything. It's not serving us. So when we can start liberating that energy, we gain more of that life force energy back to create the life that we really want to create on purpose here in the
Mm-hmm.
now. And it's
Yeah.
really teaching people how to become their own inner alchemist, their own inner psychic, and unlock that potential so that they can start living that life. Because so many people say, I wish, I want, if I,
Right.
and instead of saying that, say, to start changing the game and saying, I'm going to create because I know I can, because I remember who I am, or I'm
Right.
remembering who I am.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much in what you just said to unpack here, right? Like so many things. Like first and foremost, like going back to the fear, right? And being psychic or being a medium, right? I think so many of us as children and even as adults, like we fear of these seeing spirits or the unknown, right? Like I know my daughter, has seen things and it scares the crap out of her. She doesn't like
Mm.
it. So, of
Aw.
course, I've I totally resonated that with even as an adult. Like I would always be like afraid to go in the basement in the dark, right? Because I was afraid of seeing something. And so for me, I don't know if like it's for me, I feel like the fear feeds that dark shadow a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Rather than it actually being a dark shadow, but it's almost like our own fear and what we actually see. So like, do you have tips of how people can release that fear to allow themselves to open up if they want to, right? Like for me personally, like I'm just speaking from like I'm clairvoyant, but not in the sense where I see spirits, but like when I'm doing readings with people or channeling, right? I'm seeing this if I close my I mean have lots of different clairs that are open, but for that's how I see it. But like I would love to be able to be like, oh, your grandmother is here with you, or who such and such is here with you. But I still do have that fear. I know I do of seeing something like, but I know I don't need to be afraid. So it's that subconscious belief, right? Because I know as a human, actually, I am so powerful to anything. Like, I do believe I'm untouchable because I know I am divinely guided all the time and divinely protected. Like, that's just a knowing in my heart and soul that I am protected and I, protect myself with my angels and my spirit team. So I know nothing can really hurt me, but there's still that underlying fear. So, what would you say to someone that's like fearful of this unknown?
Ooh, such a great question, but a really big question.
Yeah.
And there's multiple, I'm just going to say this, there's multiple different ways that I could respond to that. Because it would depend on, like I would ask you questions, and this I actually do spiritual coaching, intuitive to
Mm-hmm.
help people to really start to hone where it is and that like where your fears are, where the issues are, so that we can target and then start clearing and creating breakthroughs. But for that, yeah, so how I would address that, first of all, and this is going to be a big response, but I will try to navigate it in a laser focused way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
um, so we don't really need protection,
Mm-hmm.
and that is a misconception. And
Mm-hmm.
for years, and I'll tell you, I was for years one of those people that would protect, protect, protect. But
Right.
what I learned was because it's a mental universe and we are creating our reality, all the fear
Mm-hmm.
that we are creating comes from within us.
Yeah.
It
Right.
is literally coming from within you. And there is literally absolutely nothing to fear, nothing
Mm-hmm.
to fear,
Mm-hmm.
because it's all a construct of the mind.
Mm-hmm. I
So
love
what
that.
you're talking about, and I had to go through this all myself because I was terrified into my adulthood. I had to
Yeah.
sleep with the light on and the door open, and
Yeah.
even into my 30s. I'm not kidding. Like it took me a
Yeah.
long time to get over this, because it was years of fear that I had entrenched in my unconscious programming. So
Mm-hmm.
it is recognizing that fear is a construct of the mind, and it's coming from the past, because anything that you fear is not present moment, it's the past.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's a recollection of something that you're being reminded of from the past. The past is the
Mm-hmm.
unconscious mind.
Yeah.
So fear is actually a construct of your mind in a reality. You had something scary happen to you. You had a snake bite you. Now you're going to be afraid of snakes. That's a
Right.
real fear. But right. But when we're looking at a spirit or a ghost or the unknown, there is nothing to fear because you are a divine sovereign being
Mm-hmm.
that has is literally a spark of source energy having a human experience. You
Mm-hmm.
are literally a spark of God having a human
Yeah.
experience. There's literally nothing to fear. So what when you're in that realm or when you're in a situation like that where you become afraid, face it in that
Yeah.
moment. You're
Yeah.
downstairs, you're getting freaked out because it's dark and there's something in the recess of the corner of the, of the cellar. Stop and say,
Mm-hmm.
is this really true? Is there something really in the corner for me to be afraid of? If
Mm-hmm.
there's nothing for me to actually be afraid of because I'm divine in nature and
Right.
nothing can hurt me.
Yeah.
Nothing can hurt me. You're a soul.
Yeah.
Nothing can
Yeah.
hurt you. And it's just to face whatever that is in that moment
Yeah.
and say it out loud and address it. And that will become very empowering because you
Yeah.
literally have overcome that fear in that moment. Now you've just taken one of the programs and deleted it.
I love that. And you could apply that with anything in life, really, like from
Anything.
what you're saying. Like anything that you're fearful of, you can now, just like with that simple exercise, you can reprogram and delete that programming just like that. It doesn't have to just be spirits, it could be literally anything that you're afraid of.
And some of it may take a little more in-depth intervention than
For
others,
sure.
but that's a way to begin, is to face
Yeah.
it, is to
Yeah.
own it. Oh, until your shadow will own you until you own it.
Yeah.
That's Carl Jung. That's not me.
I,
It's
I
the truth.
Yeah, I love that. And I want to talk about two things. I want to talk about shadows, right? Since you brought that up, but I also want to go back to healing yourself and like all those things, how you can do all these things yourself, particularly talking about Dr. Joe Dispenza. And for that, so maybe we'll go back to the shadow, but like I know some people may not be familiar with his work, or if they are, familiar with the work. For me personally, like love his work, right? But it was like very difficult for me to also resonate with him on that level too at that point when I first heard it, right? So I probably wasn't 100% maybe ready for it yet because I do feel like it is a different frequency, right? That you can be ready for just because of what he's saying. Because also, I don't know about you, but like the meditations are a lot longer than maybe some people have time for. So like talking about healing your own body, right? And being this person where you can do this work yourself. What would you suggest to people like that want to heal their own body and how to even start, right? And because I don't know for me personally if I would recommend Dr. Joe Dispenza is someone that's like right into their spiritual awakening or becoming aware of this work or things like that. Does that make sense?
hmm Yeah. So, first of all, I'm gonna come from a perspective to tell your audience I've healed myself with doing
Yeah.
his work.
His meditations
I
or just practicing what he teaches.
I've been to his 7 of his retreats.
That's
I've
amazing.
I've attended, but because I wanted to learn, I wanted to understand, I wanted to go deeper
Mhm.
into my own work and also embody what I teach. Because
Yeah.
I feel it's to be authentic, I need to embody what I teach. So
Yeah.
um, I had a 30-year chronic condition called Hashimoto's thyroiditis,
Hello.
and I healed it through his
Oh,
work.
that's beautiful.
Yeah,
That's
so
amazing.
it's real.
I
The
believe it
power within
100%.
us is real.
Yeah.
And I'm a walking example of an opportunity to heal. And it's through the
Yeah.
meditations, through the breath work, and through a diet change. I also added a diet
Hmm.
change with a naturopath in there, and
Yeah.
I healed it. And I had it, and it was a truly quantum experience where I literally woke up one morning and my medication disappeared from my house.
I love it.
And I know that sounds crazy, but it
Hmm.
disappeared. I was talking to my friend. I was like, I don't understand. Like, I can't find it. I don't know where it went.
Yeah.
And I was searching
Yeah.
my drawers, my cupboards, my purse. I'm my analytical mind's trying to process what, like, this can't happen. I went to my pharmacist and they're like, we can't refill your medication because we just did it. And I was like, that was my confirmation.
Yeah. I
So,
I love
yeah.
that.
So I would say, first of all, know that it's possible. because
Mhm.
you can't change anything until you hear the possibility of knowing that that's possible.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
And as soon as you know that that's possible, open up to the idea that it's possible. You may not know how, but you know it's possible because
Yeah.
other people are doing it. And it's like the 4 minute mile. It was deemed impossible to run a 4 minute mile until a human did it. And then all these other people are doing it because it's an imprint in the field. So
Mhm.
it's learning about energy. So my suggestion would be is to start learning a little bit about energy and recognize that we are walking vibrating beings. We're not these, we look like we're made of flesh because we're in a 3D reality, but to start learning, start meditating, and if
Mhm.
that's a guided meditation, if that is, and I don't mean do the dishes. I mean, you need to have a discipline, because people will
A
say, well, doing the
practice.
dishes is a medit. Well, it can be, but
Right.
this needs to be a discipline to sit down every day and be still and tune in to yourself.
Yeah.
I tell people, actually, I teach this because I'm a meditation facilitator certified and
Mhm.
mindfulness as well. And one of the first things that I teach in beginner meditation is doing a body scan
Yeah.
because we're so disconnected from our body, and our body is our unconscious mind, and this is where all our emotions are. And emotions are energy in motion. And when they're stuck, our body goes into states of dis-ease.
Mhm. Yes.
So when we start to reconnect to the body, tune into the body, and remember we have this beautiful body and we sit with it, we start to feel the pain. We start to
Mhm.
feel the aches. We start to connect to parts of ourselves that we denied or we're too busy to make a connection to. Reconnect to the body. That's the key. Reconnect to yourself, body, mind, and soul.
Yeah.
And start because healing is wholeness. It's the wholeness. It's not just body, it's not just mind, it's not just soul. It's all aspects because we are this being in this
Yes.
body that is a soul, right? That has a
Yeah.
mind. So I think all three are really important, and it's important to address all three. But to do a body scan, sit, be still, tune in from the toe all the way up and just connect and feel those parts of your body. Are they achy? Are they sore? How do they feel? And is there stiffness? Is there tension? Is there stress? And connect and without any judgment, just observation. And then I
Mhm.
teach another little technique at the end. If you had like a little bar, and like if you were in your mind's eye, if you were to see this little bar in front of you that went 0 to 10, and you closed your eyes and you thought about your energy and you tuned into that bar, where on the scale of that bar is your energy?
Mhm.
And you'll get an immediate response.
Right.
6. Okay, so I'm at 60% capacity right now. I
Mhm.
know that, and I tell people to do this before they go into the body scan and tune in. Where are you at? So oh, I've only got 60% energy today. I'm going to be mindful of how I give my life force energy out today because I'm tired. I'm only at 60%. And then after you
Mhm.
meditate, check and see where you're at just for fun. And
Yeah.
without a doubt, almost every student is like, "Oh my gosh," they've increased their energy bar by the end end of the meditation.
Yeah.
But it's little tips and tools that help you start tuning in and making the connection to your inner world.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think meditation is so important with any spiritual growth, healing, all the things, right? Just being and being still. I know when I first developed my psychic abilities, I was a person that was like, I can't meditate. I'm awful at meditating. And my mentor was like, you just have to get up early before the kids get up and just dedicate that time to having your own practice. So, like, creating a space within your home that's special to you, even if it's a corner, right?
Good
Like
for
a corner
you.
with like a little chair, or
Mm.
where you have a candle or incense or something that just makes it special for you. And I started off by using crystals, and I started off with the 10-minute guided meditation, and that really helped me start practicing, right? And that's what it is a practice. So it doesn't have to be
Mhm.
perfect, and you get better. It's like a muscle. It is muscle memory. Your intuition is muscle memory, right? It's something
Yeah,
you
I love that you said
strengthen.
that. Yep.
And so, like, you want to continue just to strengthen it and keep at it. And Nine times out of 10, if you tell me you're not able to quiet your mind, if you're not able to meditate, it's because you're not grounded. You're not grounding your energy. So I always tell my clients, make sure you're taking, I do, recommend the box breath, which is 4 breaths, 4 counts in, holding for 4 counts,
Mm.
releasing for 4 counts, 4 times, and different things where you are imagining tree roots coming out from the bottom of your feet, like going
Mm.
down into the earth. There's so many different grounding practices. Look them up, Google them, right? Whatever is
Yep.
resonates the most for you, but make sure you're doing that before you go into meditation or try, because that's what's going to quiet your mind and help you really calm your body. And doing that alone is creating a moment of presence, right? Coming back into your body and connecting with your body, which is so powerful.
Yes. I love that
So,
you brought up the breath because that is
yeah.
so vital. And yet doing a breath work before you meditate, it will help so much. I love that you brought that up. And you're
Yeah,
right, it's entrainment. It's literally you will create a neural network in your brain that's wired for meditation if you continue the discipline. That's probably why it works so well for you because you've made a discipline and a practice out of it.
for sure.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
brushing your
yeah.
teeth, right? It's that
Mhm.
important. It's that important to me.
Yeah, so I would love to talk real quick about shadow work and, how people can not be afraid of it, right? Or not want to, or how to like not avoid it, because I think there's a misconception that shadow work is like this scary thing and it's going to be really difficult to work through and they're going to have this whole big spiral in the wrong direction. So maybe talk a little bit about that and how powerful it actually really is.
Oh, Elizabeth, I love that. I love that you said that. You just said all the perfect keywords. I
Yeah.
love it. And I love that you're bringing this up. This is fabulous. And I'm so passionate about shadow work because it's 95% of how we function is in an unconscious part of ourselves. Only 5% is conscious. And the
Mhm.
shadow lives in that unconscious. And it's not bad. It's not negative. And it's so
Yeah.
important for people to understand all it is unknown, unhealed aspects of the self. And if we knew it was there, then we would be paying more attention to it. But
Mhm.
it's just parts of us that have either tucked away, um, a painful experience, a trauma that takes a snapshot and then locks it in and stuffs it in order to self-preserve. So we have such an incredible system that we're working with. It wants to keep us alive and functioning in the best way we can. And it wants to take care of us and it wants to self-preserve. And there's this part of our brain that's wired for that, for self-preservation.
Yeah.
So it's that part that's like, hey, we got to take care of you, And but there's things that happen, there's processes that happen to us, there's traumas that happen, there's breakups that we can't get over, or grief that we lock in, and we it's too painful for us to process, so we lock it away. And it doesn't just go away, it sits there, it sits in our system
And
until
causes
we address
disease.
it. Yeah. So
Mhm.
it's understanding when we understand what's actually going on, it's not the monsters in the closet anymore. It's recognizing there are just aspects of you that are unhealed, that are begging, please, 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 I just need your attention because I want you to love me. That's all.
Yeah.
These parts just want to be integrated back into the light, to be loved and integrated back into wholeness.
Mhm.
So it's recognizing and one of the fastest ways to recognize where your shadows are is if you're triggered by someone or something.
A
The
hundred percent. When you
moment you're
become
triggered,
activated,
you
right,
got
by
a shadow.
someone, by what they're doing or what they say to you, then that's such a key factor of what it's that you need to work through something about that.
Yeah, and it's okay. And this is where I think this is where a lot of people, because my clients will get really upset with themselves and they'll be really self-critical. And this is so vital is like, do not judge yourself. And I say,
Mhm.
if you had a child and your child was going through something and they just couldn't quite get it, would you get mad at them and judge them for it? Or
Right.
would you hold their hand and help them, support them through it? Well, think of yourself
Mhm.
the same way. These are just unhealed aspects of yourself that, are needing your attention to be integrated back into wholeness. So please don't judge that part of yourself and just understand it, observe it, recognize when that's showing up, when you've got a trigger. It's like, oh,
So
okay.
when people get triggered, then what can they do to alchemize it, to work through it, to,
So an
change that?
example, like if you're reactive to, if somebody's saying something to you and you get really defensive,
Mm-hmm.
and it may not be a direct relation to what they said. It could be something unrelated that brings up that same emotional reaction or response to it, which
Yeah.
means something from your past has been triggered into recognizing I have a wound there that needs healing. So
Mm-hmm.
when you find yourself reacting, because you might react the first and go and then go home and go, oh, whoa, I really, whoops.
Right. Like, oh, I overreacted with that.
And oh, that's so interesting. Okay, what did self-reflection? What did that mean for me? And
Mm-hmm.
it might not come right away. You might not be able to get the full integration of it. That's okay. But asking the question, probing, helps you start to activate the inner wisdom or start attuning to your higher self, to your soul.
Yeah.
So you're moving out of the analytical mind and you're asking your higher self, what did that mean? And you're integrating it through the analytical mind, but you're starting to access the unconscious part because you're asking the question, why did I react that way?
And that could
And
be
you're
just
going to
an
bring the
internal
unconscious
question
conscious.
itself, right? Is why did
Yeah.
I react that way? Or why did I feel that way when this happened? And just kind of like free write, right? Like just let whatever comes out come out.
Yes. And it may show up 2 days later, a week later, it may show up in that moment, but it's paying attention. That's why it's so important to be present because
Mm-hmm.
then you'll catch it when it comes. And this is healing. This is actual healing. This is actually
Yeah.
part of the Dr. Joe process in a way. A lot of other processes align with this
Yeah.
too. But you asked about the deep inner healing, and this is the active way to do it, is living your life and just becoming aware. All we're doing is just shedding the layers of conditioning. That's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All the conditioning that we experience, that we tucked away, that we haven't dealt with, we're just shedding out, that we're liberating it all so we can come back to the wholeness of our being. That's all we're doing.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
don't need to make a big deal about it. We just need to be present with it and go, oh, I see where I really got triggered there. I understand that. Okay. And you get better and better at it as it's just like anything else, exercising, meditating, like anything you do, when you practice it regularly, you get better and better at it. You get to know it
Right.
much better, and your relationship with yourself becomes much clearer.
Mm-hmm.
And to know thyself is the greatest gift you can give yourself and the world. So the more that you start to know yourself,
Mm-hmm.
the easier it is to start processing that. And then it just starts shifting and shifting and shifting. It gets real, and sometimes you get tripped up with a big one. That's
For
okay.
sure.
We
We're not
we're here
perfect.
to
We're
feel.
human.
Right? We're here to feel it all. So,
Yeah.
and that's the problem is now we have this, and I'm going to say it, we have a pharmaceutical industry that wants you to numb the pain. Here, take this pill. Here,
Yeah.
take this pill. Here, take this pill. That's separating you from being able to feel what you need to feel in order to heal it. And that's all you need to do because there's a difference between feeling it and healing it and suffering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We're here to feel all of the myriad of emotions that there is to experience here. But when we stay in that, 3 years later, we're still in grief over a situation. Now we're in suffering. And that's not what we're meant here to be here doing, is being in a state of suffering. And how many
Yeah.
people on the planet are suffering? We
Yeah.
all are in some degree, and we don't even know it. But when we start to recognize we're keeping ourselves stuck,
For sure.
we
Yeah.
can
And I
liberate
think
ourselves.
it's really just awareness is the key, right? To be able to liberate yourself. That's the first step. And then deciding, how do I want to feel, right? Like, how is it that I actually want to react? How do I
Mm,
want to feel? And remembering that next time you're in that situation that you may have been triggered in the past, you can actually get better at pausing so you can respond rather than react, right? Because now you've like become aware of, what is this trying to teach me? What is this trying to show me? And I think a big too that we talk about in the mindset world is neutrality, right? Like staying in neutrality, where we're not giving meaning to everything. Like nothing is good or bad, it just is. And because we
mm,
decide as humans, right, in our ego, what is good, what is bad. And everyone is different in their opinions about what is good and what is bad, right? So,
yeah.
how can we stay in that place of neutrality instead of judgment, right? And just, what is this trying to show me right now? I'm feeling something, I'm feeling a reaction. But instead of, getting angry or sad or, flying off the handle, which is, of course, easier said than done. Again, we're human, right? We all have those
It's a
moments.
practice and a process,
It's
right?
a practice, and you're gonna, of course, have moments where you do, fly off the handle or blow up or yell or whatever. But that's part of being human too. But you can make it less and less and less, where it becomes less traumatizing to your system, and you're not going so up and down, but staying more in that neutrality. So I've loved this
Yeah.
conversation so much. I would love to just ask one final question. If there's like one piece of advice or wisdom that you want to leave with the audience today, what would that be?
Ooh, it's interesting. I had this idea of giving a little tidbit to your audience about how to recognize if you don't know where your natural psychic abilities are, because we all have them. We usually have one or two that we're more attuned to or adapted to without even recognizing we are. And it's
Yeah.
those six senses, the clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, gustance, clairalience, and claircognizance. Those are the
Mm-hmm.
six senses. And what I call it the intuitive tells. So one way to know very quickly where one of your natural abilities lie, or two, or you could be globally
Mm-hmm.
connected,
Yeah.
is to recognize how you speak when you interact with people. So if you're having a conversation with somebody and you say, "Oh my gosh, you know what? I see what you mean. I absolutely see what you mean." Or if you
Mm.
say, "Oh, I hear you. Oh, I know. I hear what you're saying." Or if
Mm-hmm.
you say, "Oh boy, do I ever feel you. I feel that. Oh, I feel that." Or you say, "Yeah, I know that to be true." Those
Mm-hmm.
are telling you right there, and that tells me right there where you are at. Because if you say, "I see you," you're naturally clairvoyant.
Right.
Say, "I hear you," you have an attunement to clairaudience. If you say, "I feel you," you have a natural attunement to clairsentience, which is the feeling. And if you say
Yeah.
claircognizance, you have the natural ability to channel.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so it's just pay attention to how you connect and interact with
Yeah.
people. That's going to show you. And when you recognize that if you're a seer and you say, "I see you," pay attention to how you are interacting. Because if you're having a conversation with somebody, there's all kinds of things happening that you may not be paying attention to. You might be actually getting visions of what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
You get a scene of it, you can see it.
Yeah.
Or you feel, you can literally feel what they're saying. That is you starting to hone and tune in. And if not, start doing that. Start tuning
Mm-hmm.
into envision what they're saying. Start tuning in to feel what they're saying. And then let it go afterwards. Just let it go. Don't
Yeah.
carry it, let it
No.
go.
Yeah.
But that's a way to start really activating your psychic energy naturally.
Oh,
Easy. It's so easy.
so easy. I've never heard that tip before, to be honest. And
My
I've
guides
been,
gave that to me.
it's so easy. And I laugh because, like, I say all of those things. However, I would love to start paying attention to, like, which I say more often
Ah.
than the others, right? But I think that's such a beautiful, easy tip for people to start noticing. And then you can do different exercises if you want to start developing that clear, right? I mean,
Mhm.
you can, there's books,
I
there's,
teach this. I actually have a
and
class. I have a 2-day master class starting tomorrow. But
beautiful.
I teach this. I teach it. I teach a 2-day master class, a 6-week class, and a 3-month program.
To help for people to develop their psychic abilities.
Yes.
Beautiful. I love that. I mean, I obviously utilized that when I first started on this journey. For those that know me, like, that's where I first started, was developing my psychic abilities. And I wouldn't be where I am today without that help, because so many times I tried to do it on my own and I would dabble, and I wouldn't really be able to focus. And so it took me having that mentor to actually help give
Mm.
me the exercises, and also the belief in myself, right? When that validation, being like, I'm not just making this up, like, I'm actually being
Yeah,
able to pick up on what she's putting out there, right? And, like, she's like, yeah, that's exactly what it is, right? Like, you're right on. So
that's a
I think
big one.
it's
Yes.
so powerful to have that mentor, to have that guide, if this is something that's interesting, like, of interest to you, to develop your intuitive abilities. And it's not like you have to go out and use it for a profession. You just use it every day in life, in so many ways, with your family, in your career, or whatever it is. It just,
It will change your life.
it will change your life. Life becomes so much easier when you're able to go within for the
Mm,
answers and tap within rather than always looking for outside sources, right? So
yes.
thank you so much for this conversation. I so enjoyed it. It was so powerful. If you want to reach out to work with Jennifer, I will put her links in the description and show notes. Reach out to her, all the things,
Mhm.
spiritual guidance, meditation, psychic abilities, spiritual coaching. I know you do as well. Healing, right? You do healings
Yeah.
as well, right? So
And
many
I do
things.
psychic mediumship sessions as well. Yes, ma'am.
Beautiful.
Thank you so
Beautiful.
much, Elizabeth. Thank you.
Yes,
It's
thank
been
you
a
again.
pleasure.
Yes, so has been. All right, we will see you next time on our next Light Council series.
Thank you.